Hello, cyber world. This is Brenda Underwood, Coach BU, coming to you live today to chat about a few things. So it's been a while since I've been live, and I am kicking off a series, but last night I got so moved by something that dropped in my spirit that I said, well, we're going to do the first live on this, and then I'll kick off my series. But the series is going to be called God is Not Impulsive, He's Strategic. And let me tell you, if you're in a transition in your world, you're going to want to stay tuned for that new series that's coming out. I'll be doing that live. And so I want to get into what we're talking about today. And so what we're talking about today is believe in people. Believe in people. And so we're going to do a variety of things that I need to do on a live, all in one live. So we're going to have a raffle. That's for the people who showed up. It's one thing to sign up, it's another thing to show up. So every once in a while, I'm going to reward the people who actually signed up and showed up for the Embrace His Word Bible study. And so we're going to do a raffle for that. And then we're going to get into some tips and some tools and some gems on how you can help people grow, what impact your believing in people can have on helping them to propel forward. And then we've got a big Breakthrough for Life announcement that I've been in the back scenes working on. So if you're one who follows my social media and been like, Brenda ain't been on here in a while, and Brenda ain't been doing her posts and stuff like that, a couple of things going on. We're really busy preparing for 2023 while we're still taking care of our 2022. So I've got a big announcement at the end. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and anybody ready to win some stuff? I want to give away some things, and one is going to be a gift card that is going to be given to the people who were there at 7 o'clock. If you were last night there when I was shaking these puppies, then you are in the drawing to win a Macy's gift card. Okay, so we're doing, it's upside down. A Macy's gift card is going to be my first giveaway item. And then we're going to do a giveaway item for 2 books. And that's for everyone who came to the Bible study last night. We had once a month, Breakthrough for Life sponsors Embrace His Word, which is a virtual Bible study that I do once a month. And then I do another Bible study that's in person. If you're in the Gwinnett area and you live or want to drive to Duluth to have a Bible study, I do a full-blown dinner. We do a Bible study. We have fellowship. It's a really good time. I've been doing that since the first of the year. And so October and November are the last 2 months that I will be doing any Bible studies, because guess what? Breakthrough for Life, God is so gracious, is letting us, our CEO is Jesus, he's letting us off for the month of December. So Breakthrough for Life will be closed the month of December, but in the meantime, we're going to be going full blown all the way to the wall up until the time Thanksgiving happens. Once Thanksgiving happens, I'm off the grid, y'all. I'm going to relax. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to enjoy my 51st birthday like I should have enjoyed my 50th birthday, but I didn't. So with that being said, with no further ado, whatever the saying is, let's go ahead and get this raffle started. Anybody ready to win some stuff? Hold on. Bear with me here. There we go. Okay, so I am sharing my screen right now. Hopefully you can see me and you can see my screen. And I've already put the names of the people who were there at 7 o'clock when we started the Bible study. So we're going to do a spin and see who wins the Macy's card. We're going to wait a minute. I'm going to have to spin again because Valerie was already there. She was the first name on the list. So we're going to do a restart. That's a false positive. All of y'all who've had a COVID test know what false positives are. We're going to try that one more time. Okay, so we're going to do the spin one more time. Sharonda, you're the winner of the gift card. So the only requirement on the gift card is that you actually let me know what your address is. So I don't think me and Sharonda are connected on social media. So I will be sending you a text, Sharonda. If you hear this by a friend's Facebook or something, then I'll be sending you a text so that we can get you and mail you your gift card. Now, next, we have all of the people who showed up to the event. All of them are going to get a spin at winning one of these two books, and these two books will be their choice. So, this book is from an old friend that I haven't talked to in a long while. This book is from an old friend of mine, Victoria Teague, Finding Heaven in the Midst of Hormonal Hell. Okay, y'all like, but a man couldn't get that book. Well, the Bible study's just for women to elevate women. This is our private place. Okay, so we're going to either give away this book. So the person who wins this next raffle can either take this book or they can take this book. And this is My Story by Laditra White. It's an anthology with, I think it's 47 different women's story of how they overcame and how they're not allowing their past to dictate their future. And my testimony is one of the testimonies in this book. And is talking about overcoming rejection and how I entered this world with a bang, to say the least. But you got to read the book in order to find out the story. So one of these two books, they are going to be able to pick between one or the other as to the book that I'll be mailing off to them. And so let me go ahead and get this one pulled up and ready to go. Okay. So let's see who is going to win the books. And these are for the people who signed up and showed up to the Bible study last night. And so we're going to do the share of a screen and boom. Okay, so we are going to do our first spin, our second spin. I think we are. Chandra, you are the winner, and we are connected on Facebook, but she's one of the few people who doesn't get on Facebook a whole lot. So I will be sending you a text to ask you which one of the books you want, or actually I already know which book because your story is in this book too. So I will be sending you Finding Heaven in the Midst of Hormonal Hell. And so hopefully this will encourage people to not only sign up for the Bible studies, but show up for the Bible studies. The only reason why we do these Bible studies is so that we can enrich the body of Christ, so that we can live lives that glorify God and that we walk in the promises of God. And so that's what these Bible studies are all about, as well as connectivity. We had a great connectivity time last night with breakouts, a powerful question, deep conversation. When they came out the breakouts, people either were laughing or they was in tears of joy that they had such a great time in the breakouts. So I implore you, if you're not in the Georgia area, if you're not in Gwinnett, sign up for the virtual Embrace His Word Bible study. The next virtual Bible study will be October 25th, and we will have a virtual Bible study. If you're interested in that virtual Bible study, give me a holler, connect with your sister, come on through my DMs, email me, call me if you have my cell phone number, whatever it takes. Now, this is the one that you really want to come to. The virtual one's really cool. We have a great time. I spent a lot of effort into making that exciting. But this one right here is the bomb.com, y'all. Look, we're having Jamaican food brought in for this Bible study that is next week, next Tuesday. So if you want to get a seat, because there's only 15 of them, and wait a minute, don't go with that FOMO, that fear of missing out, and sign up and don't show up. Now, don't play with my money like that, okay? Because all of the Bible studies are free. I do not charge for any of the Bible studies, but I do pay for the food out of Breakthrough for Life's fund. So what I'm asking you to do is help me be a good steward over the money that I spend to encourage the body of Christ by actually showing up if you sign up. But if you show up, let me tell you, we're going to eat some good hot food. Literally, I'll be coming in from the restaurant with the food blazing hot. And we sit down, we break bread at 6:30. We eat, we laugh, we joke, we listen to some good gospel music. And then at 7 o'clock, doors locked, Bible study starts, and we are going all in. We're having conversation. We're asking questions about the word. I am breaking down that word like I used to break down that word when I was a Bible college teacher at Free Chapel. So I'm not holding nothing back. If you're interested in a face-to-face encounter with women who love the Lord and with the Lord, I'm sure you're having encounters with the Lord anyway. But if you want to get with like-minded women and get in a room, and many of us are entrepreneurs, get in the room and rub shoulders with people who are thriving and growing and seeking God with all their heart, let me tell you, this is the Bible study to be at. This Bible study takes place in Duluth, Georgia, at my physical office. There's only 15 seats in my conference room, and my goal is to fill every single seat every single time I have an event. So if you're interested, show up. Okay, so now we're done with all of the Embrace His Word promo. Sign up, DM me if you want to come to the Bible study. If you want to come to the virtual one, let me know. Hey, I'm out of state. I want to come to the virtual one. Hey, I'm in state. I'm going to drive to Duluth, and I want some of that good, hot Jamaican food. Let me tell you, me and my son enjoy going to check out these restaurants to find out where am I going to get the next meal from. And usually, the first of the year, we got restaurants from places where I knew the owners. So we always got some extras. But now I'm getting into, because I want something different at every Bible study. You know, I'm a foodie. So I'm going to bring food, good food, into every Bible study. And so now we're getting into some restaurants that I don't know, that I hadn't tried. So Devin is enjoying the Embrace His Word scavenger hunt for good food for us to eat for dinner. And why do I do 6:30 to 7 dinner time? Because I'm in a high rise and my doors lock at 6 o'clock. So I have to have someone downstairs in order to let you into the building at 6:30. And look, once I start running my mouth for the Bible study at 7, I'm not running back downstairs to open up the door. So I entice you with a hot meal. Because you know, Christians and food, we go together like peanut butter and jelly, baby. And so Christians and food, we gonna go together like peanut butter and jelly. That means you got to be here at 6:30. Okay. And then at 7 o'clock, we start with the Bible study. We are usually finished between 8:45 and 9 o'clock. I am pushing it to always get done by 9 and have you in your cars and headed home. A couple of times we can run over, but typically by 9 o'clock, you're out the door. So that's all for Embrace His Word. Let's get into what this particular live is all about. Some tips, some tools, some gems. Anybody want some nuggets that can help them build as they walk and as they grow? Well, I'm going to give you one that is so close to my heart that I don't even think I'm going to be able to get through this one without crying. If you know anything about Coach BU or Brenda Underwood, I'm a crybaby. I will cry at a drop of a hat when it comes to the word, it comes to something touch my heart. But if I'm mad, that's a whole nother story. We don't cry when we're mad. We a whole different person when we get mad. So we don't like her. We don't like to talk about her, and we don't like to see her. So we just stay on the happy, joyful side, the BC side. The BC side is the angry Brenda. The BA side, the before Christ and the after Christ. The after Christ came, Brenda is nice and friendly and bubbly and all that stuff because I've given all my cares to the Lord. But when I tell you that this topic is near and dear to me, believing in people, because when I look over the journey of my 50 years, it has been some specific people who have believed in me that have helped me to become the woman I am today. Now, look, blanket. Foundation, Jesus gets all the credit for every good thing in my life. But God works through relationship. We are not silos. We don't grow in silos. We grow by encountering other people. And God has brought some phenomenal pastors and phenomenal friends and some phenomenal spiritual family into my life that have believed in me. And so I just was moved to share with you guys the importance of believing in someone. So I want you to take an inventory of the people that you get an opportunity to speak to their lives, people that you get an opportunity to share, to help them get through their struggles and their problems? Are you the person that people come and share their dreams with? That's huge. Because when someone shares their dream with you, they are saying, do you believe in me? I want to share this with you and see what you think. And if you rain on their parade, you just do not know the impact that that can have on someone, vice versa, moving forward or moving them backwards. And so sometimes you need someone to believe in you until you can believe in yourself. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes you need someone to believe in you until you can believe in yourselves. Look, we all deal with more self-doubt and criticism than most of us care to share. And what I'm going to say to you is really about how to not re-wound people, how to build people up and not tear people down. And I've done both and I've received both. And so I really want to employ the body of Christ to, instead of being fault finders, to be soul lifters, to be light givers, to give words that are a gift to the hearer, as Ephesians I think it's Ephesians 3 or Ephesians 4 says. And so when you look at believing in people, sometimes people are acting such a way where you like, were we born in the same family? I mean, did you have the same mama and daddy and made you clean your room? You question people sometime, right? But this is what you can do. Look for the good in every person you come in contact with and speak more to the good you see in them than the negative you see in them. People will repeat what's rewarded. So when you look at believing in people, let me tell you, when you believe in someone, you can be the spark that ignites their dreams, that ignites their courage to press past the fear into the journey to become who God created them to be before life happened to them. And so I really want to encourage you that when someone shares a new idea or shares something with you, even if you have something negative to share or a criticism, be very careful. Very careful, because you could really squash their dreams. When you believe in somebody, you propel them forward. You say that you see something in them that they may not be able to see in themselves. I want you to look back. My ideal client is a middle-aged woman. That means you're between 35 and 65, okay? Middle-aged, we done stretched that number a little bit, but the middle-aged group, we done lived enough life to have had somebody believe in us, right? How did that make you feel? What impact did that have on you? Be that for somebody else. Find someone before the end of this month. I know it's only a few days before the end of this month, and let them know how much you believe in them, how much you believe in their gift, how much you believe in their ability, how much you believe in their capability. You just have no idea. We hear so much negative stuff being thrown at us left and right and left, that sometimes we need that encouraging word. Not that, hey, be blessed. Hey, I'm praying for you. No, I'm talking about a specific word. I have a client that I just finished her coaching with, and she's a screenplay writer. And I sent her a card, and I said, and I'm going to say her name because it's something positive. I said, Erica, I sent her a card. I mailed it to her house, didn't even tell her it was coming. So she's listening to this. She may have heard it for the first time. I sent her a card and I said, Erica, I love how tenacious you are to overcome hard stuff so you can live your dream. I love your creativity. I love how you are multifaceted in this space of screenplay writing, producing, and directing. I love that about you. I love how you love your son. She's got 2 beautiful boys. I love how you love your sons and how you balance it all in the air. I'm rooting for you. That's what it looks like to believe in somebody and express it. Let people know specifically about them, not generic stuff, but specific to them, how you believe in them. Because when you do, then you are helping them to overcome a mountain of fears that they have, because we all have a mountain of fears when we're trying to do something new. The difference between the winners and the people who don't win, how well do you press through your fear? How well do you press through the discouragements and the failures and the restarts? How well do you quiet distraction and get laser focused on what's at hand? That's the difference between winners and non-winners. So when we have someone come to us, we already know they're dealing with, we are our own worst critic, right? That's a cliche. We're our own worst critic because it is real. We are our own worst critics. So you're dealing with someone who already has self-doubt, and they come and share something with you, and they get vulnerable with you, or they share a new idea with you, and then you rain on their parade. Like my stepdad used to say, don't let them pee in your Wheaties. Some of y'all don't even know what Wheaties is, but that's okay. My ideal client knows what Wheaties are. And so you come and you pee on their parade, pee in their Wheaties. You raining on their parade. You tearing it apart. You naysaying it. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Remember what all of our grandmothers used to tell us. If you don't have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. Especially when someone's being vulnerable, especially when someone's sharing their dream with you. Find some positives, even if you share areas of growth. I don't like the word constructive criticism, the phrase. I prefer to say areas of growth. If you're going to share some areas of growth, make sure you double down on the areas of strength. Because most of us are more focused on our weaknesses than we are our strengths. So help people to grow, because when we come and criticize someone's dream, when we come and we criticize someone's effort, when they're doing the best they can, when we do that, this is what we do. We feed their deepest fears of inadequacy, their deepest fear of rejection, their deepest fear of abandonment, their deepest fears of criticism. Their deepest fears are being fed when we're negative with people. So let's encourage people. Let's build people up. Let's find the good in people. I'm going to say this about married couples. I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you, and yes, I am single. I have yet to be married, but I observe married people, and 98% of my clientele is married, and I've helped several people cancel divorces. So I'm going to speak on this, not on the authority of my experience, but the authority of the Bible. Okay? I'm coming to you to say this with your spouses, whether you're a man listening to this or a woman listening to this, give them more encouragement than you give them criticism, especially for the wives. Wives, with your husbands, be nurturing, be caring, be uplifting, because they got the weight of the world on their shoulders. I know we do too, but so do they. There is nothing easy about navigating this current climate that we're in. Be your husband's peace, not his brick. I'm going to say that again. And if you're watching, type it in for me. Be your husband's peace, not his brick. Don't be a brick beating him over the head every time he does something slightly wrong, okay? Encourage, lift up, and build more than you tear apart, throw bricks, and tear down, okay? I really encourage you to show your belief in people. Men need to be respected. Women need to be loved. So wives, I challenge you to write your husband a card or leave him a note or do something special for him and say, I'm doing this because I respect how hard you work for this family. I respect how you cover us. I respect how you bless us. I respect how you're faithful to our covenant. I respect you, because your husband needs to hear that. Husbands, your wives need to feel loved. Let your wives feel the love from you. Dwell with them with understanding. Don't always be a taskmaster with your wife barking off orders. Sometimes you need to be loving, caring, and yes, I'm going to say that word. Connect with her emotionally. Let me tell you what, I ain't going to get into it because I'll be too long, and I got to finish my CRM before the night's out. So I'm going to go into it. What I'm going to tell you is, women, show your husband some respect, verbally showing it to them, physically showing it to them. Husbands, show your wives some love, physically and verbally. More physically than verbally. And when I say physically, I ain't talking about sex. I'm talking about helping her out. 5 love language. words of affirmation, quality time, acts of kindness, touch, and I always forget the fifth one. But whatever the fifth one is, you can check out the book, Five Love Language, but connect with your wife on an emotional level, and you will create a unity and a bond that is unbreakable. So now that I'm off that little tangent, let me get back to the believing in people, the power of believing in people. Be the person that helps someone believe in themselves. And so I'm going to share a story. This is going to be the teary part. A story about someone who believed in me. And his name is Dr. Rich Rogers. And he's been on my mind heavy because his wife just passed away a couple of weeks ago. And Rich Rogers, Dr. Rich Rogers, is very dear to my heart for many of reasons. But when I was just new to Free Chapel for the most part, I think I'd only been there for a year. Dr. Rich Rogers, I had gone through Mark Mobley's Bible College, International Free Chapel International Bible College, got my certification, did my 2 years for that. And then Dr. Rich Rogers came to me one day, I'll never forget. We were at the Gainesville campus and he walked up to me. He said, Brenda, I want to ask you about something. I said, sure. And he said, have you ever thought about teaching? I said, teaching what? He said, teaching the Bible. I said, you know, I'm a single mom, right? And he was like, what does you being a single mom have to do with me asking you to teach at the Bible college? And you know what? That just right there, that shares such a subliminal tale of how I was allowing me having a child out of wedlock to determine what I could do in the body of Christ. How many of you guys out there are saying that my sin of the past is going to hinder my efforts and service in the body of Christ moving forward because I feel guilty about it, because I feel shame about it? Okay. And Dr. Rogers, in that moment, he was like, well, what's that got to do? He goes, I keep praying for a teacher for the Bible college, and your face keeps coming up. And I want to know if you would take the position. He said, pray about it, think about it, and come back and let me know in about a week. Well, as the story goes, you know, I accepted the position, but you guys don't know what that travailing was on the backside. You know, I had someone tell me the other day, I told them I was scared to start my business. They're like, Brenda, you were scared? Honey, y'all have no clue the tears I cry. What you see is a woman who is pressing through in courage in the spirit of the Holy Ghost. You're not seeing a woman who just woke up and say, I'm ready for the challenge. Most mornings I wake up and be like, why didn't I marry the nerd? Because his wife don't have to work, you know? And so Dr. Rich Rogers in that moment believed in me, and he ignited a gift that I didn't even know was there. Pretty much, if I go anywhere in Gainesville, I run into somebody who is set in one of my classes. And they give me all this positive feedback of years ago. I hadn't taught at the Bible college for 8 years, I think, 7 to 8 years. But I run into people all the time. And I always say, when someone tells me a thank you, I tell God, thank you first. Say, God, thank you that you blessed them through this earthen vessel. But then I always say a thank you and a blessing for Dr. Rich Rogers, because he believed in me. He ignited my dream. And look at what I get to do today because of it. The opportunities that him believing in me, the opportunities that has opened up doors for, is unbelievable. That one man, that one conversation of him believing in me was so powerful and pivotal in who I am today. But the next person who really, you know, I can't talk about Dr. Rich Rogers without talking about this next man. Because let me tell you, this next man, he fought for me. And this is the thing, y'all. You're looking at a woman who's never had a man fight for her, fight for my gift, fight for my position. I've never had a man show up for me the way that Dr. Rogers and Pastor Javon Ruff showed up for me. Because when there was a changing of the guards of who was going to run the Bible college, the new guard, whom I love, I love him. This is no shade to him, but he didn't know me from a can of, well, yeah, he did know me, but he didn't know me. He had a particular vision for what he was implementing, and I didn't quite fit into the vision because he wanted pastors to teach, all paid pastors that were on staff to teach. Ambassador Javon Ruff, he fought for me to continue to teach at that Bible college. And he said some powerful things to me during that time. And one of the things that Pastor Javon Ruff said to me was, maybe it's not what you're going to do for God, it's what God's going to do for you. And that just blew me back because I'm just trying to serve God. And God was, and and between Dr. Rich Rogers and Pastor Javon Ruff, Rich Rogers, he ignited the gift of teaching in me. Javon Ruff, he protected the gift of teaching. And if those men never do another great thing for me, that was powerful enough. They believed in me. And so now, I think I taught at the Bible college for 8 years. I've been gone from Free Chapel for 6 or 7 years now. So 15 years ago, these two men were so powerful in my life because they believed in me. Who are you believing in? Who are you propelling into greatness? Who are you pouring into and igniting a fire to fight through the fear to go after what God asked for them? Who are you believing in? I told you I was a crybaby. I wasn't going to get through this without crying, because these men were pivotal. They taught me so much. Not only did they teach me that men will ignite, cover, and protect you, but both of these men are pillars of what marriage, godly marriage, looks like. Javon Ruff's wife, Shanna, beautiful woman. But to watch how he interacts with him, I knew them before they had kids. And to watch how he covers her and he protects her taught me what I never saw in my own home: a harmony of marriage. To see Dr. Rich Rogers and Teresa interact with their 4 beautiful daughters, they were an example of what godly marriage looked like that I desperately needed to see. I desperately needed to see it because I didn't know it. I've never seen good marriage. All I've seen is cussing, fussing, fighting, drinking, and partying. That's how I grew up. Okay. And so to have 2 men, not only one ignite my dream, the other one protect my gift, but both of them have godly marriages where they are faithful and loving and caring to their wives, I hadn't seen it. And I needed to see it. And so when I think about you believing in somebody, be the Dr. Rich Rogers for someone and ignite their dream. Be the Pastor Javon and protect somebody's dream. I'm encouraging you because I have a heart for the body of Christ. Look, I'm going to tell y'all 100. Running your business, it is not for the faint of heart. Being an entrepreneur ain't no joke. There's easier ways for me to make money. Let me just tell you 100. I'm a revenue producer. I work in sales. That's what I did when I was in corporate. I'm an infrastructure creator. I come to corporations and I help them take their bottom line up, not only in numbers, but in profit. I can always go find a job. But I do this because I have a burden for the body of Christ to live the promises of God for their lives. I do life coaching and I don't make near as much money as I made when I was in corporate. I know y'all think I'm balling out of control. No, I'm just savvy with my money. I just know how to make my dollar stretch. But real talk, I can make more money working in sales, especially in this climate. I can go be a VP of sales somewhere and make a killing, easier dollars. But I choose a harder dollar because this has lifetime impact. This has eternity impact. When you believe in somebody, it has eternity, an eternity of ripple effect. I'm telling you, when I talk to my clients and they've launched their businesses, I talk to my clients and they have opened up their psychiatric practices, and they are doing their bakery or whatever God called them to do, and their kids are getting involved and they're living a life of contribution. That's a ripple effect. That's eternity. That's why I do a harder dollar coaching than to just go and run a sales team, because I can do that in my sleep. This I need Jesus for. I need Jesus for that too, but I don't need him like I need him in this. Because see, in my flesh, see, in our gifts, we can operate and do fairly well in our flesh with our gift set. It's a whole nother thing when you partner with God to bring breakthrough in a kingdom. When you partner with God to bring breakthrough in a household, when you partner with God to bring breakthrough in a marriage, in a business, in a career, that's a whole nother level of dependency. And it all goes back to, I'm trying to be what I had hoped someone would have been for me. And so I'm challenging you guys to rise to the occasion of believing in somebody. Find someone that needs your encouragement. Find someone who needs someone to believe in them, because sometimes we need you to believe in us until we believe in ourselves. I never believed that I could be a Bible college teacher. I never believed I could be a teacher. But I'm going to tell you one other person, and I can't let him go because he came in on the heels of everything else. Marvin Jinks and Natalie Jinks. That couple right there, solid gold in my book. Because they encouraged me when I wanted to give it all up, when I just wanted to walk away, when I said I can't live up to this bar of Christianity. They loved me. Natalie, oh, that woman right there is solid gold to me. If you know or see Natalie Jinks, give her a hug and say it's from Brenda Underwood. Because that couple was by my side at some of my weakest points, and they saw me through. So as the scripture says, one plants a seed, one waters it, and God adds the increase. Y'all, be the planter, be the waterer. Nowhere in there does it say be the fault finder. And so I'm encouraging you guys to believe in people, believe in others, and let them know you believe in them, because it may be the difference of them walking in the promises of God or not. Okay, now that I'm done crying and sharing my story about believing in people, we have some great news. Breakthrough for Life has been busy with an entire team. I've got a professional videographer, a PR person, a media coach, a podcast editor. I've got an entire team that has been working behind the scenes. I can't forget Josh Merriam, who is the guy who did my logo, my new logo. I am coming out with a podcast. Yes. Many people have been, over the years, have asked me about doing a podcast, and I'm going to give shouts out to Joy Sutton. She is a media coach and a very close and dear friend of mine. And she called me out on something. She said, I think you didn't accept this opportunity to do this particular, media event because there's something else going on. Can I coach you on? And she coached me on it. We found out that I had a fear of failure. So I had been asked to participate in a pretty big brand name podcast casting. They were looking for podcasts to do, and I declined it. And when we pull back the layers of it, this is the power of having coaches all around you. All of these people, not all of them, but Joy Sutton is a certified Breakthrough for Life coach. So she coached me on what my issue was. We got to the bottom of it, and it was a fear of success. And I'm not going to go into that. I think I've done a podcast about it in the past, but I mean, not a podcast, a Facebook Live about it in the past, but I'm launching a podcast that comes out January 2023 because I am facing off with the fear of success. I don't have a fear of failure anymore. I used to, but I'm going to tell you, when you keep facing off with fear, then fear starts backing up. And so I'm not scared of failing. I'm not perfect. I admit it openly. I don't do any hypocrisy. I'm going to tell you straight up. If you want a perfect, sinless Christian, then you need to go find Jesus, because on this side of eternity, none of us are that. Um, I used to have a serious fear of inadequacy because of a lot of different things, the drugs in my background, when you done been in a straitjacket 3 times for suicide attempts, you kind of have some insecurities, right? And so I had a huge fear of inadequacy, and always double checking my grammar and my speech and everything, because there's just so much. I grew up in such a toxic childhood, and that's why I got rid of the people pleasing. It was one of my therapists said, you're so worried about trying to get this love from your brothers and your sisters and your stepdad that when you don't have it, you don't want to live. You got to let that go. I'm like, oh, that's what I need to do. Okay, not a problem. But anyhow, I had a fear of inadequacy that was so deep. And so all of those things come to play, and you deal with them one by one. God says that he deals with us glory to glory in layers, right? So he dealt with my fear of failure. He dealt with my fear of rejection. He dealt with my fear of inadequacy. Now that fear of rejection, y'all gonna have to get this book right here. You can get it off of Amazon if you don't win it for free. But this book right here shares with you how the root of the fear of rejection was knit to me in my mother's womb. Deep story. But anyhow, that fear of rejection caused me to be defensive, caused me to be problematic, caused me to bully, caused me to do all kinds of things. So scared of being rejected that I was one who was going to reject you before you could reject me. And God healed that, and he dealt with that. And I thought I was done with fear. And here comes the fear of success rearing its ugly head. And when Joy pointed that out to me, I was like, I guess that means we got to do a podcast. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, whenever I have a predetermined decision, if I fear it, I do it. Now, not if I don't like it. Get me when I say this. If I fear it, I do it. Now, there's some things I ain't going to do because I just don't like. I'm not jumping from nobody's bungee cord. It ain't got nothing to do with fear. I just don't understand what's the glory in that. Okay, I just don't get it. But if I fear it, it's a predetermined decision. If I fear it, I do it. So I said, well, we got to do a podcast. So me and her worked out how we were going to work this out so that we could do this podcast. Then I was sharing it with a good friend of mine who's really heavy into videography. And he was like, I'll do the first 5 podcasts for you. And then I don't know what we're going to do after that. I may have to find somebody else, or we're going to have to pray him into the team for good. And then Josh Merriam, if you guys need anybody to do a website for you, Josh Merriam is your man, but he's a busy man. He's by far one of the best web designers, web developers I've ever run into. And I've been working with people on websites since I was 19 years old, and I'm 50. So Josh Merriam is awesome. Josh did the logo on it. You can go check out the logo. You can go check out the name, all on my YouTube channel, which is called Breakthrough with Brenda. You are going to see all of my efforts moving towards my YouTube channel, because the podcast is going to be a podcast, so that we're going to do video as well as podcast. And this is what I'm going to do on it. I am going to coach someone from struggles to solutions in 60 minutes or less on each podcast. So we're doing a casting call this month. We are looking for people who want to be coached and are willing to allow what is said. And that means everything you say. We're not editing out. Ooh, don't say that part about my mama. Ooh, don't say that part about my sister. Nope. Whatever you share while we're recording is the rights of Breakthrough for Life to use. And you'll have to sign off on a pretty hefty agreement for that. But if you're willing to be coached for the podcast, it's no charge. So you can get a free coaching session, and I will coach you on whatever your struggle is in 60 minutes or less, taking you from struggle to solutions. And so that's what the podcast is going to be all about. I'm also looking for people who want to do advertising on the podcast. So if you have a book that you want to sell, if you have a product you want to sell, something of that nature, and you want to promote it on my podcast, DM me, reach out to me. But keep your eyes attuned, because I am going to be putting out a new web page for the podcast. Right now, if you go to breakthroughwithbrenda.com, it's going to take you straight to breakthroughforlife.com. And we are going to have a new page coming out where you're going to have a whole sign up coming, so that you guys can sign up if you want to be coached for the podcast. And so that will be launching in 2023. And shortly after we launch that, all of y'all have been waiting for this particular book to come out. Everybody asked me, Brenda, when are you going to write a book? When are you going to write a book? I'm going to tell you now, there's never going to be a book that's all about my life. I just emotionally can't go through that. I mean, I literally, psychiatrists and therapists have said, man, you went through all that? I'm like, yeah, and I'm still standing. So I just emotionally can't go through it. Don't come at me and say, well, Brenda, are you really healed? Look, when you've gone through what I've gone through, baby, you can be healed and still cry. You can be healed and still cry. I'm okay with everything that happened to me in my past, but I ain't trying to relive it so I can write a book. What I am going to do is write a book called The Love Wash. And that book is coming out for Valentine's. It will be out in February, and we'll have contributors that have written poems, have written stories, and different things that are going to go in that book. And that will be open for pre-sales in January, and will deliver in February, right before Valentine's Day. So that's what's going on in Breakthrough for Life. Oh, one more thing that we're doing for Breakthrough for Life. We are going to have entrepreneurs roundtables. So I am going to look to do 4 entrepreneurial roundtables throughout Georgia. So we're going to do it in different areas. I already know, obviously, we're going to do one in Duluth, because that's where my office is located. We're going to do another one down south, because I got a whole host of clients down south. We're going to do another one down south. We're going to do one over in Marietta. And of course, I can't leave out my Gainesville peeps. Y'all have shown me so much love over the years. So we will be doing one up in Gainesville. These are going to be entrepreneur roundtables where I will bring in a speaker to come in and educate us on how we can do business better. So I'm not going to be the speaker, right? Because y'all hear from me all the time, right? I'm going to pull some of the excellence that's already in the Breakthrough for Life family. I'm going to ask them to rise to the occasion, and whatever their discipline is, whether they're attorneys, lawyers, podcast developers, whatever, I'm going to ask them to come in and share things that would help us take our businesses to the next level. And so it'll be a roundtable. It'll probably be a 2-hour event 4 times a year, where you'll come, we'll be at a venue, we're going to have a speaker come and chat with us for about 20-30 minutes, and then we're going to have some breakouts, some conversations. But this is the best part. We're going to have a roundtable where we talk about our problems, because it can be a lonely place being an entrepreneur. And sometimes you think, I'm the only one who has problems like this in my business. But then you get around entrepreneurs and you're like, ooh, everybody got these problems. Like, I'm reading one of Tony Robbins' books right now, The Giant Within, or Awaken the Giant Within. And I was reading one of his book, one section of the book, and he talked about how when he asked people what they want, they spend 20 minutes telling him what they don't. I thought I was the only coach. I thought I just didn't ask the question right. But Tony Robbins, it costs $1 million to be coached by Tony Robbins. He has the same problems I have. So it helped me realize, okay, it's not me. Okay, there's a reason why people focus on what they don't want when you ask them what they do want. And I would just love to get entrepreneurs together and let us iron sharpen iron. Let us elevate each other, women elevating women, so that we could all win the race, so that we can all cross the finish line, because there's enough pie for all of us to get a slice. So with that being said, I am so excited about this next new year. I can barely close out this year. And so if any of you guys are interested in any coaching, interested in having someone help you get certified to be a life coach. If you're interested in becoming a woman of action or a courageous entrepreneur, I'm your girl. Call me. I am here to support women and help you win, and a few good men. So I work with men too, but predominantly women. But if you are looking to elevate to the next level, if you're looking for your 2023 to make up for your 2020, call your girl. I'm the results coach. When you're ready to take action, because if you just want to sit on the couch and wish your way to manifesting your life, then call another coach. But if you're ready to put in the work to get the results so that you can live your winning life, I'm the girl. I'm the winner's coach. I'm the breakthrough strategist. Whatever's holding you back, we will crush that puppy. Whatever problem you've got, we'll get a solution for that. And whatever vision you want to implement, we will make it happen. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys spending the last 50 minutes with me. I am so excited about this. DM me, call me, email me, text me. You want to be on the podcast? You need a coach? You want to come to the Bible study? Get in where you fit in, baby, because I got lots of room for all his beautiful daughters. This is Brenda Underwood, the Breakthrough Strategist, Coach BU, signing off. Peace and love. Bye-bye.